Okay, so when did you first start out?
Well, I've been making art like since I was a kid. I thought I was gonna be an inventor though, so I like actually cared way more about like electricity than painting. But I was in like second grade, I found out this artist. He, I don't remember his name, but he put like papers on his paintings and like made them 3D. And anyways, like I didn't think that was that cool. But what I did think was cool was he pretty much invented that art style. So whenever I was in second grade, I was like, something just stuck with me, and I wanted to make a new type of art, which I still haven't fully reached that yet, but working on it. So I think I've always been creating shit, but like, I don't know, but professionally, technically started in like 2017, 2018. My first shows were in Memphis, downtown, and 409 South Main, and 387 South Main. So, yeah. So that's my first show actually was with Kia and a bunch of other people, and then my second show was with Kia, and like that was purely just her being generous and like mentioning me and getting me in that show.
She's so sweet. That's what I was about to say. I think I went to that one. I was like, I think I know now. That's awesome. So you're still doing inventing things because you're gonna invent a new art. You still keep you're still keeping that alive.
Yeah, I have a full-time job actually. I'm a robotics technician in Dallas, Texas.
There you go.
So I work with robots 40 hours a week. So.
You have that ambition in you. You got it. You're gonna get something. So I was gonna ask what inspirations like made you like stick to your style, but what other inspirations did you get for your actual style itself when you were developing your own technique and your own style?
I think the biggest thing that is interesting about my art is and my style is that I don't really think about it. Yeah. So I go with, so if I had to classify myself in a religious category, I would be what is referred to as a Taoist or a Taoist. And so basically going with the Tao, which is like the way, and just kind of going with the flow of things. And there's something called Wu Wei, which is pretty much the actual definition of, I guess, my art. And Wu Wei means like without trying, pretty much. So it's basically effortlessly doing something. So to be able to make my art, I have to get out of my own way and just paint and not think about anything. So if I do think about stuff, I try to pull from emotion. So one of the biggest things I think about is my own like mortality, I guess. So I typically think about my own death because it puts me in like this really weird, it's a really weird state of mind where I'm like sad, but I'm also like happy, and it's also inspiring me to go out and actually do shit. But that's why I have a lot of skeletons in my work. But also it's not done in a very it's not done in like a dark way. So I don't think about my death in like a dark way. I think of it like a more inspiring thing. And so that's why whenever you look at some of my art pieces, even though they're like super chaotic and shit, they're still very calming. So there's not that sense of oh, I'm scared, because it's like it's not that dark, but it is chaotic.
And it's definitely the colors that you use too, because I was noticing like the different hues. Like you do use a lot of like pastels and like brighter colors, and that gives you like a lot, like it's an ease instead of like a sad, morbid if you were using like deeper or darker colors. Because I was looking through the rest of them too, and they all are still pretty like bright colors, so that definitely has like that emotion coming through. Dude, I like that a lot. So how did you first start like seeking out opportunities? I know that you said that you had a few shows with Kia, but how did you start doing like bigger opportunities as well?
So whenever I was in like college, so I went to community college at Northwest. It's in North Mississippi. And whenever I was in there, I was just drawing in my dorm room. And then I started coming to Memphis, and then that's whenever I met a guy named Jonathan Cooper and then Kia Woods. And Kia's the artist we were talking about earlier. So that's when I met them. And then Jonathan Cooper was hosting something with Food Drink Culture, which is a little brand he created. And Food Drink Culture was basically putting on local shows for people. And so I would go in those and I would talk to Cooper and try to get my artwork in those shows. And then eventually Kia landed a show at a place called Stock and Bell, which is 387 South Main. And she mentioned me, so she got me in that show. So that was my first gallery show. And since then, I've just been talking to people and like reaching out. So I got accepted into a museum last year. And so the way I did that was I sent just like a shit ton of emails to like museums all across the world. And then eventually, yeah, well, not even that. I was just emailing, just cold emails. I think I sent like 500 emails. And eventually one of them said yes. And conveniently that one was Mississippi Museum. So it was pretty easy to get there.
That's awesome.
And so yeah, that was the Meridian Museum of Art. So I don't know, to answer more of your question, I've just talked to people, and if I didn't know something, I did it wrong, 499 times, and then figured out how to do it. Like, yeah, it's really just taking chances instead of being like afraid to, I guess, ruin my own reputation by being annoying. I've just kind of said fuck it and just learn how to be annoying properly. So,
and precision is a lot better because like you would be surprised how many people just kind of walk in, they're like, oh, I'm an artist, here's some of my stuff, and then they leave and that's the end of it. But the people that are consistent or like constantly send you things or constantly kind of checking in with you, those are the artists that end up standing out, especially to like art dealers like that. So they probably read your email like a bunch of times. They're like, all right, we're gonna reach out to this guy. Like he's being persistent.
Yeah, actually, the Meridian Museum, I emailed them 3 times and I didn't even mean to. I just was emailing a bunch of fucking people. And then the 3rd time is the one they accepted me on. So same deal with the persistences. They told me no twice and then they finally said yes.
It's all about persistence and like you having the confidence to still ask, even if they're like, nah, it's like, well, I'm gonna ask again. I mean, you gotta have that confidence.
Within like a week's time too. So it's like, I don't know. But hell yeah.
They said that how old are you now?
I'm 22.
And were you 21 when you were when you first got in the gallery?
Yeah, when I got in the museum, I was 21.
Okay.
But my first gallery show, I was like 18.
Okay. So being such a young age, where do you see you like taking yourself from here? Since you've already kind of accomplished a lot at such a young age, where do you see yourself going from here on out?
Shit, probably hell, but to be more positive.
I mean, we survived 2020, so I'm pretty sure we're in it right now.
Yeah, nah, but I don't know, man. I don't think about that. I just kind of think about like what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I do think about longevity, obviously. Like obviously I want to have a long, healthy career, but I just have certain goals that I want to accomplish, but I don't necessarily have a timeline to accomplish them. So like last year I wanted to get into a museum, but I didn't know if I would be able to do it by the end of last year. I thought it was probably going to take at least 5 more years, but then it took 3 months. So I don't know. Right now I'm just kind of trying to explore, and one thing I do want to do, one solid plan I do have is I want to own my own museum. So like I don't really care to own my own gallery because I don't care to actually profit off other artists' work. I care more so to display and showcase art that I find interesting.
That'd be beautiful.
That's not for sale.
Oh, that'd still be beautiful, like so people can come and observe.
Yeah, and I started Sims Museum. So the Sims Museum is a place you can go in a place called Decentraland. So it's actually a museum in a metaverse that is on the Ethereum blockchain. So a lot of the stuff I've recently been doing is NFT stuff, and NFTs are minted on the blockchain. And so this museum is an NFT museum, and it has some pretty notable artists, not necessarily their best notable works. So there's a guy named XCopy who's probably in the top 10 of NFT artists, and he might not be, but I'm pretty confident to say that he probably is. And then I've got a guy named like Jonathan Wolf, who's also one of the world leading artists. I've got another guy named Sharanto, and Sharanto is one of my favorite artists. He's probably the leading expressionist. So him and me make similar art, and he's probably made $500,000 in the past fucking year just selling his art through NFTs. So he's really badass. I actually did a collab with him. That was like my first collab was with that guy. But yeah, so in terms of where I see myself in 5 years, I don't know. So I could accomplish my goals in 2, I could accomplish them in 20. So.
I like that though. Hey, don't put a timeline on it, because a lot of artists today, I mean, well not like today, but like a lot of famous artists, it took them a long time to like build it up and have that reputation, to have that name just be out there. For as far as like your medias go, are you wanting to like dabble in other mediums as well? Or, because you were talking about owning like the own museum of like arts and stuff.
So, I think the biggest medium that's like inspired me that I haven't done is claymation. That's probably the one medium that I want to get into that I haven't yet. But as far as that, I don't think there's anything that I care about more than what I'm currently doing. So there's nothing that has beat painting for me. So like I like to make NFTs and I like to make digital artwork, and I like to spray paint and to make you know, just graffiti pieces. But actually painting a brush is by far my favorite thing to do.
Most satisfying.
Yeah.
It seems the most expressive too. Like, I guess because it's more texturized for me. So like when I see someone's like raw paintings versus like their digital prints, or like even when it is graffiti, because graffiti's gonna be rough anyways because it's outside for the most part.
But texture is actually something I have a huge problem with. So the NFTs help me a lot because it's a digital thing. So I can create a digital creation and sell it digitally. But it was really, really hard for me to market my artwork on the internet because you can't see how amazing it is because it's a picture.
Right.
Like if you go to the painting over there, Still Here, which is the name of the one on that wall, like that one, it's cool to look at online, but it's way fucking cooler in person.
It's not, like, it's the textures thing.
Yeah, it's the experience of seeing it. So that's something I really do enjoy about NFTs, because I don't have to, like I can have that, give that same experience to people without it having to be like in person. Which is another cool thing about the Decentraland, which is a MetaMask universe. Or not MetaMask, a metaverse. Yeah, so it's a metaverse, and like you can take your character. It's basically like playing The Sims online, but there's only one world.
Okay.
So if everyone got the Sims game, but there was only one world, and everyone played in that same world, that's basically what Decentraland is. So you can actually go to your computer and walk in my museum and see the artwork on the walls. So instead of just looking at a flat picture, you can make it three-dimensional by putting it in a metaverse.
I like that a lot. I feel like that's gonna be like the new direction that we go, especially like with the pandemic that went through, and like people are gonna do more digital. And like you said, it is rough seeing pictures. When I used to have to do photography for artists and their pictures, I would get so close to the canvas to like try to show that the pictures have texture. They're like, no, just take the picture just straight on. I'm like, you can't see any texture straight on. You gotta come at it at an angle. Like you put way too much work into it for a straight on shot. So I know that that's gonna be like going through it and trying to get that image on there. But that's awesome about the digital world. Like,
yeah, and
that's super interesting.
And more people are embracing it. So I had so I signed a do not disclosure agreement with this company, but I can say who the company is. So I did a meeting with Saatchi Art, which is like a big platform thing. So they're going to get into NFTs, and right now I'm helping them. And then one of my friends, his name's Peter. He owns his own brand, and I'm helping them get into NFTs. But as far as like the future goes. Because of like the pandemic and like the digital world, we realized that we can do a lot more shit on the internet. So for instance, Saatchi Art owns the Other Art Fair, and the Other Art Fair is doing a digital showcasing at the end of next month. So you'll be able to walk around a digital art show, art fair, and go to different artists' booths where they have their physical pieces digitally placed in this small metaverse. Yeah, and
that's gonna literally change when people start doing things, because like packing all of your art up and traveling across the country to do all these art shows and like having the opportunity or the chance of something getting messed up, or you know, I feel like that's gonna be a big game changer, like a huge game changer.
Bringing a lot more people together than what we had going on. Because I've been able to work, so Suranto, I'm pretty sure he's based in Indonesia, so I would have probably never met him.
Yeah, like that connection would have been like 1 in a million if y'all happened to land at like the same event going on or something.
Yeah.
And I bet that would be easier too if like, because I know a lot of times people have like events kind of similar times. That way you can like be at home and like host all the events at once. That's gonna be amazing. Well, I guess the last question I had written down was, do you have any kind of new stuff coming out soon, or anything that you're working on, or anything that you're excited about doing next?
So I have a drop coming. So at the end of next month, I'm going to be doing a drop with a company called Meme, and they're an NFT platform. So I'll be doing a drop with them. I'm also working with a guy named Tyga Paul, which for the people that are watching this on the internet, they know who he is, and he's fucking amazing. So that piece with him is gonna be insane. I don't know how I'm gonna ship that piece, because it's a physical piece that he's digitally animating.
Oh wow.
So he's taking a physical piece and then turning the monster, the skeleton monster thing, into a 3-dimensional thing. And it's like, it's gonna be fucking insane. So I'm really excited for that piece with him. I don't know when we're gonna release that one, but yeah, so those are the two most exciting things I'm working on.
That's awesome.
All right, thank you.